So let's talk about practicing shooting from a seated position. So one, we're in a seated position. How much out of the day? We're either seated, typing reports, we're in our vehicle, right? We're in the office. So being able to draw from a seated position is critical. So we're going to start with just basically one. We'll have everyone see if they can safely draw and put rounds on all the 5 targets around them without lasering their partners. So one thing that we found from this position, which is kind of critical, is most of the time when we draw, we go to like the indoor ready or stool position. At seated position, that's pointing it at your legs. This tends to be a little bit safer because I'm able to shoot at targets all the way around me and I'm not pointing it at myself. So inside your car seated, this allows me to transition a lot quicker from a seated position. So right now I'm going to have them draw their weapons, okay, and I want them to shoot all 5 of the targets without lasering anyone around them. Go. Okay. All right. So they can see if their partner's in the way, they don't have a safe shot, they don't take the shot. All right, so they bring it back up to, all right, to high port. So now we can either practice just calling out targets, and they can all practice, but we're going to start with holster your weapon. And we would do this all the way around the room. So I would have Julia start off with, going to shoot every target by herself. So just shoot all the way around, okay? She's going to put at least 1 round on each one. Okay, go. Same thing. So now we're just kind of starting it to where there's a little bit of a stagger because it kind of mixes up a little bit where they're at. Go. Okay. Go. And go. Okay. Okay. So a couple things that we see is that sometimes our flat range training makes us a lot slower. So all I'm going to have Jeremy do is I want you to put 2 rounds on the target over your, actually he's left-handed, over your left shoulder. All right. So right now, just by going one-handed, his speed has increased. So I want you to do two-handed this time. So to do two-handed, he has to bring the other hand to the gun. He has to pivot and try to move his torso. Versus just drawing, point it over his shoulder, he can get a quick shot really quick from this position. All right, so now let's have everyone do a 360, but try to shoot over your shoulder if it's close with just one hand. All right, go. Good. So knowing where everyone's at is critical. So now, from the seated position, we're going to actually just call out targets. If they don't have the shot, they're not going to take the shot. If they feel they need to move, they're going to move. The other thing we want to start seeing is that if there's a target, try to move your head offline while you're shooting. All right, 1. Call it out when you see it.
1.
Orange.
Okay, good. Okay, holster. Hoodie.
Hoodie.
All right. 2.
2.
All right. And the other thing to take into consideration at close quarters, if you want to stop the gunfight, bring it up a little bit higher, hitting up towards the upper chest or the head. And in this case, it's actually going to be a little bit easier for it to shoot versus crossing. All right. So 2. Right. Also, the trajectories, a little bit safer depending on where you're shooting from. All right. 1, red cap. So now we have to split our attention between 2 different targets. So call out what you have. All right, let's try it again. Blue belt, red.
Blue belt.
Blue belt.
Who's got red? Who's got red?
Red.
All right, so the last portion would be actually having someone physically come up to the table, right? Because your focus is going to be a lot more on someone walking up that's going to draw, that has a gun. So are you going to move? Can you move? If you can't move, when you sit down at the table, you should at least say, if something happens, I'm bailing left, I'm bailing right. That tells me that you're not going to go into my field of fire, right, if that's the only place you can go. If there's a wall here, you know which direction you're going. All right? So I'll get ready. I'll call out, gun! Good. All right. So always working towards a real person is key, because then you start to pick up those pre-draw threats and you can actually see where your rounds are hitting. Nice thing about with this drill is I can see if anyone actually puts rounds on someone else. So we need to practice from this position to get comfortable with it. All right. And you can just practice over and over again.